me do a long pitch. I don't know how high it is, but it's a long pitch.
It was awesome. And I realized I was on mute. I was like, oh, she can't hear me.
You know what it is? You know how you have your picture stamp on this thing, Zoom? I love that picture of you going like this. I can't lift my arm all the way up. And I was like, oh my gosh, you bring so much energy all the time. Girlfriend, I got to tell you, I truly, and I love the fact that you don't sweat the small stuff. And that's one of the things that just gravitates me to you. But that workshop that you did and invited me a couple of weeks back, because I want us to talk about that. Let me make sure I'm good on time, okay? You know, I don't have my glasses on, trying to look pretty. So, in order for me to see stuff, I go like this.
I do that with glasses, though.
So you had this amazing event that is in support with your business goals, short term, for now going into next year. And you invited me to it. You asked me, you know, when you told me about it, I said, oh, I can definitely make that. That week got turned upside down for me. All of a sudden, I got hit with all these consults, which is a great problem to have. And I was back to back with meetings, back to back. And not to mention, my darn going cat, who likes to walk under my foot, was right beside my feet. And I was in my office and I went to go turn around and almost literally put my whole foot on her back. And I would have broke her back had I put my heavy weight on her. And to prevent from stepping on her, I tried to not step on her, lost my balance, and went head first like a linebacker into my closet. And I already have an injured shoulder, and I missed my head and went straight into the wall, tackling the entryway of the door with my shoulder and ripped all my flesh off of my thigh. And I was like, and I cried so loud just to get some attention because I was in so much pain. My whole right side got really bruised, and it was just crazy. Yeah, so I had a beat up week that week physically due to the injury, and I couldn't even take the time off like I wanted to. That day, it was early in the morning, so that day was a wash for me because I was in so much agony and pain. And all blood came out of all over the place. So whatever I lost that Monday, I needed to play catch up on. And then I had all these consults that just kept popping up. And I was like, I just can't make it to Naketa's event.
Oh my God, like please, that is such a small thing. No, listen, everybody in my circle has ambitious schedules. I do not expect y'all to be able to make 98% of what I do. So.
Well, I'm going to tell you this much. I am a support to you without a doubt. And I'm here to be a support to you. And I appreciate the value that you bring in my life and so many others. And I want you to know, every chance I get, I will be there to support you because this is a two-way street and stuff.
I know. And honestly, it was such a whirlwind with everything else. Same, like I did not bust my shoulder open and my thighs and, you know, everything else. But it was like the good breakdown problems to have where you have all this stuff happening. I had a lot of fun. It was good. I had so much fun. I'm going to do it again. I think I told you.
Yes, I saw it on your page. So it's a 5-day workout, workshop program.
I feel like we working out. No.
The best workout I get is drinking and eating.
Listen, I ain't mad at all.
But yeah, I'm going to try to sign up. I'm going to try to sign up for that. And I saw it today in between my schedule on Facebook. And I said, I got to check my calendar because I definitely want to see if I can participate in it. If not for the whole 5 days, certain days here and there. Well, let's talk about that. The last time you were with us, we were talking about the myth of happy wife, happy life. And also that's one myth. The second myth, number 2, is that it is possible to have a happy life and a happy career, to be in 2 places, and be happy in both places at one time. Because growing up, you and I are about the same age, and growing up, we always heard that saying, happy wife, happy life. And we always heard, oh God, if my personal life is on the rocks, my career is doing great. Or if my career is doing great, then my personal life is suffering. If my personal life is doing fantastic, then my career is suffering. I just can't win, but you can.
You can. Oh my God, you are speaking my truth. You absolutely can. That's called joy.
Heck,
right?
yeah.
When it's full plated alignment, like, yes, we can absolutely talk about all of it because it's so true.
Let's touch on the first one. Let's get started with the happy wife, happy life type of theory, because I'm interested, and I'm sure everybody else is interested in hearing your theory about that.
Yes, absolutely, 1,000%. I'm so excited to be here. I've been waiting to talk to you, so this is good. And for everyone who's listening, there will be some conversation that we can't have on air because I'm waiting to talk to you offline too.
Really, really. Okay, so stick around when we're done.
Yes, not you folks.
Not you. I'm talking about Naketa.
Y'all don't get this part. So to answer your first question around the happy life, happy wife, I feel strongly as both a licensed clinical social worker, a trauma specialist, a certified sex therapist, and a breakthrough success coach, all the hats that roll into me being a balance and relationship advisor, like holistically, that's my umbrella hat. I feel really strongly that the misnomer in that is uneven. And when there is not an alignment between you and your partner, and in this case, we're assuming heterosexual relationship, male and female, because we're saying, happy life, happy wife. When we're talking in that perspective, we're assuming that someone's happiness is above the other person. We're also assuming, right? And we're also assuming that one person is responsible for the other person's happiness, which is not the case. And it's one of the reasons that whether you are with your forever love and you haven't officially married them, like, legal certification or not, if that is your person doesn't feel seen and feel heard unless they are serving you. And that is unequal yoking. Like, that is not being aligned. Whether you are spiritual or not, that is not being aligned with someone who wants to feel like, in order to feel recognized in a relationship, that they have to constantly be at the feet of someone else.
Wow.
No one, male or female, would ever want that position. Now, we might be happy to serve our men, right? Like, oh yeah, that's my man. That's the king of my heart. Like, I absolutely love the idea of that. Sure. Right. But you don't want to have to feel like that's the only way that you're seen or you're heard, and vice versa, for your man to feel like that for you.
You know what? I'm so happy to hear you say that, because every time I speak to you, Naketa, I just have to throw this in there real quick before I make my point. Every time I speak to you, you bring so much information, or you bring a lot of perspective to things, and you help myself, at least, identify things that I experienced that I could not put into words. And the point that you just brought to us is important, and I can relate to it because I remember I'm currently married, and I remember my ex-fiance, who I dated for 15 years.
Wow.
I could not see myself getting married to him. We got as far as being engaged, and I walked away from the wedding a month before. And it was tough for me to see myself married to him, because as much as I come from a Southern background, I'm old school, and I don't mind catering to my man and stuff like that. Number one, if you're my man, they're there for a reason. That's and right. You deserve the treatment that I'm going to give you and put you on a pedestal as the king in my eyes and my life.
Absolutely.
So you deserve all of that. But it's a problem when you expect it.
Exactly. Because then now you're comfortable.
Earn it. Yeah. You have to earn it. And even today with my husband, I say to him, look, 2 people live in this house. We don't have children. I said, 2 people live in this house. We're 2 adults. So if you think that it's okay for you to not do X, Y, Z, because in the back of your mind, from your upbringing, it's kind of like an expectation because your mom did it. Your mom didn't have a career. I do. And that's what rubs me the wrong way. So we are two adults who live together and share the obligation of the upkeep and the well take of our home. It's not a wife's duty or chore to do it all on her own with or without a career. It's a, we work together as a team, and he finally got it.
I love how you said we live in this house. There's two adults. There's two adults that have to walk by this kitchen, this bathroom, this living room, and any other part of your, you know, your home that you went to. Exactly. And at the end of the day, if there were, you know, creepy crawlers and things that got into the house because partially, I'm not talking about the coming in because of the weather, but if they came in, both of us have to deal with this. So both of us need to keep up the upkeep of this home and to enjoy what you would hope your home would be, a sanctuary. So yes, there is something powerful to, you know, a woman, the happy wife in this perspective, being able to feel comfortable to paint a certain room purple or, you know, have some a la carte, you know, ability to be able to take over how many plants get added to the home to really make the house a home. So in that perspective, there's that happiness of, oh, just let my wife do what she's doing, right?
You got it.
Because she's better at it. So that's, you know, that's that other part. Like they're not necessarily into the details anyway. So let her do that. But that's not, letting me decorate is not going to make me happy, sir.
That's
making me being happy is me knowing that I'm living in my truth, that I'm being supported as I figure out who I'm becoming. You know, Michelle Obama, greatest Black woman in the world that we all know.
Hello now.
Right. Listen, has been in every room we can even, you know, that we can't imagine being in, and still says becoming. And if we know that about ourselves, we are constantly as individuals wrestling with like, well, what's the new stage of me? What's the new evolution of me? And our husbands, our spouses, our forever loves are not responsible for where we're going, but they can support us. Now, what will not make us happy is if they're trying to hold us back to who we were.
That's right. You got to know the difference. And this is very important information for you to be sharing with these women who are business owners and entrepreneurs, because they have to understand the difference, you know, and what it is that they're looking for. You ever hear, I'm sure you have heard this, and many others have, she really don't know what she's looking for in a man, or that person don't know what they're looking for in a spouse. And it's true, because you have to understand what their value is in your life. They're not responsible for your joy. If you're unhappy, then you need to fix you before getting in any relationship with someone.
Let me break out my maracas. Hold on. Exactly. That was a mic drop moment, because that's real. That's real. And a lot of us don't necessarily see that until after we're out of a relationship, or we're in the midst or the throes of a really bad, either almost there breakup, or we are in the throes of the breakup, right? Like whatever that context is. And on some levels, so be it. You know, if that's what it takes for you to step into your power, it's unfortunate for both of you that you had to, you know, be in this untethering, unthreading process and feeling all of that pain. But if that's what is necessary for you to get to the greatest level of yourself, then so be it. You said something that was really powerful, Gracie, about the other person not being responsible for your joy. Which, you know, happiness is just a small component of what joy is, very holistic. And I have a formula for joy, if everyone that's listening would like the formula for that.
Heck yeah.
The formula for joy starts with balance, and we talked about balance before. There's like a formula within the formula, so it's kind of algebraic, if you will. So the balance, which is the first part of your creating your joy, because I do believe you create your joy, you do not find your joy. You don't even curate it, you really do create it. If you are in balance, which means you have admitted the truth of what you want, that's the numerator of this fraction, and you have created the boundaries so you can achieve the realities of that truth. If my balance is, and I use this example over and over again, if I say my truth is I'm a mogul in the making, if that's my truth, then my boundary has to be in alignment with that. Which means I need to be mindful of those distractions, including my own narrative distractions. So if my narrative is to constantly be in, I don't trust, I don't believe, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. If that's my narrative, then that is distracting me from getting to the truth of where I feel that I'm supposed to be, because that's what I said that I wanted. Now, if my narrative is in alignment, even if I have to do some work on it, because we're human.
Right.
But if my narrative is, you know, I can do this, I just need some help, you know, I need some support, then the boundaries I put in place is making sure that I align my calendar to reflect room for me to get some help. So every time my friend Gracie calls me and says, help, Naketa, let me help you with this next experience that you're creating for your audience, I can't constantly push her away if I'm claiming that I want help to be able to achieve my ultimate goal is to be this mogul in the making. Then I have to make room for the very thing that I'm asking for help for versus justifying why I'm never available. I'm too busy, right?
Girl, and you're talking,
listen,
you're preaching, you're hitting some nerves, because I'm one of those people that sit there and say, I'm confused. I thought she needed my help.
Right. And on the other side of that, we'll make room for the things that are the distractions, right? Yep. So if I'm spending 2, 3, 4 hours, whether it's at one time or in the week, talking to my sister's niece's friend who has the same issue and she's not changing it because she just wants to talk, because she wants to feel like she was productive that day by eating up my time, and I'm making room for her, or I'm going to these 2-hour lunches that don't have anything to do with my truth. It's, you know, like if you connect and you building, that's different, right? You part of an event or an experience that's 2-4 hours, that's different, because that's a part of your truth in this example of mogul in the making. But if I'm like, I'm just gonna go kick it with my friend, and I'm not saying you can't do it occasionally, but if this is becoming what's eating up your time, or you lost yourself in the Nordstroms and you know went in for 15 minutes and spent 4 hours and $400, but then say you don't have money to invest in the appropriate level of the experience you're giving your audience or to your new coach, or right? You know what I'm saying?
To invest in yourself. To invest in yourself. Time, money, and the resources that we do, and resources. You're properly using those resources. And we're not talking about abusing the relationships that come our way. It's properly using those resources and relationships that come our way, and properly managing our time, mental perspective of things.
That's right.
Thinking positive. You can't, like you said, you can't say you're going to be this mogul person and whatever, feel blah, 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 because now you're a dreamer.
Yeah, and you're staying there.
Yes, and you're sitting here saying, you're doubting yourself and you're coming up with 1,000,001 excuses. Do you know I drop people from being a mentor to them because they're wasting my time when they're sitting here saying, this is what I want to do and where I want to be. Can you help me? But yet you're not committing to the time with me. I'm scheduling appointments and dedicating time with you to help you accomplish your goals. But yet you're standing me up. You're not following through. You're not taking any of the advice. I don't expect you to take all of them, but you're not taking any of them. And you're not probably utilizing the tools and resources that I put in front of you. I am giving you your success as best I can at a certain level on a silver platter.
Yep. Listen, I have a friend, her name is Courtney Monet Randolph. She is a brand management expert for women CEOs. And she says all the time, I'm giving you the playbook. Yeah. I'm telling you how to run the play. I'm even showing you how to do it.
Yeah.
You got to run it. At the end of the day, you have to run it. Like, I can show it to you. I can give you some examples. I can rewind and fast forward, but you have to do it. And if you're saying to yourself, oh, but you know, I really need help with that, and I've got to go buy this dress, I got to go buy this bag, I have to, you know, this man is driving me crazy.
Nothing but excuses.
You're justifying, right? Like, you're justifying the reasons, and that's why you feel out of balance, out of alignment. But if you have that in alignment, no matter how full your plate is, even on the tough days, you'll still feel balanced. It'll just be a tough day, but it'll be a tough day in balance. And then you add to that having healthy relationships. Come on, healthy, toxic free, Drama free. It does not mean there won't be adversity, because sisters are made from adversity, brothers are made from adversity. That is okay. But
that is okay.
Toxic free, right? If you have those healthy relationships and then you times that by intimacy squared, which means you're going to go deeper in your connections. You're not going to just be surface anymore. And, you know, the superficial niceties that we do, we're being nice, right? But we're just being like top level. You're willing to go deeper. Your balance plus your healthy relationships times your intimacy squared is your joy. That is how you create it.
I love that mathematic. I love it. Love that equation. Let me see how we're doing on time, since I don't have my glasses on.
I love you so much.
Hold on a second. We got to do a part 3. Are you game for that?
I'm super game.
Part 3 is question number 2. We're going to focus on that because I want to stay on this topic a little bit more before we wrap this up. You are hitting stuff on the hammer, on the nail with the hammer, big time. I can relate to it in so many different ways because I'm all about sharing information. I'm always trying to give. I'm a huge advocate for women and young people for their development, self-development. And when I say self-development, it's ambitious towards what their future holds for them career-wise. For our young people, obviously, they're being shaped and molded to what that looks like for them. And in some cases for women, depending on where they're at in the stage of their life, it applies to them as well. The reason why I'm such a huge advocate to them is because my story is no different than a lot of people in this world, but it wasn't easy for me. I had to work hard to get to where I'm at by myself. I had no support, not even from my family. You know, in some cases, they just didn't have it to give to me. And it doesn't mean money. It's the mental capacity. They were not driven like I am for a career or a business owner and stuff like that. So they were comfortable with a certain lifestyle. Therefore, their mindset was different from mine. So they didn't have something to give to me. You can't expect people to give you something they don't have. But when I come across those who see me and say, wow, I want to get to her level, while at the same time I'm working to get to my next level, they want to get to where I'm currently at. I don't mind helping you. And I also don't mind dropping you. And the reason why I will drop you from my mentorship programs or whatever mentor capabilities I have to offer you is because you're taking up my time that can be better utilized with someone who's willing to meet the expectations of what they're getting from me. You came to me for the ask, not the other way around. I didn't go recruiting you to say, hey, can I mentor you? You came to me. There was something you saw that made you want what I have. You got to do the work and you got to make the commitment, and not only to me, but to yourself.
Oh my God. You hit so many points, Gracie. I don't think we have enough time for this part either. We might have to carry this, roll this half of a section over to part 3. You hit a lot of points, with time being your most precious resource that you have.
There you go.
Especially as a woman in business, but just someone who's an impactor, even if you are a corporate impactor, right? Like you're working as a part of a more larger machine than maybe most quote unquote traditional entrepreneurship, you know, infrastructures are. But time is our most precious resource. And when someone plays with your time, that's like playing with your man. You're not allowing either one of them.
Disrespectful.
It's super disrespectful. And you get just as fierce about it. Like, listen, I am trying to make sure that I give in the way that I wish that someone gave to me, right? And I hear what you're saying. Like, you were bootstrapped. You did this on your own. You didn't necessarily have people pouring into you in that way. Same here. And because of that, I want to be different. I want to make sure that I make space. I want to be careful, because we give to grow. We do not give to go broke. And that includes in our time, right? You can't go broke on your time because somebody wants to pretend because that's that posturing, which is a whole nother level. Just like there's those Instagram relationships where everything looks good and cute and everybody has a coffee cup and we're smiling and we're doing other things. Cheese, we're doing that. Meanwhile, we were just fussing and cussing at each other before that selfie, you know, went in the air and took it. People are doing the same thing with saying like, oh, well, my mentor is Gracie Jones. And, you know, is she? Because what's reflected in your work doesn't necessarily look like you have her as a mentor. So is it that Gracie isn't showing up, or is it that you're showing up on paper, but you're not actually implementing what Gracie is telling you, which is a waste of both of your time, quite honestly.
That's right.
Right? Like you'll get a lot more out of it if you show up fully. And I would like to add, for the people who are out there listening right now, and I say this with so much love on so many levels. You got to be clear with yourself. If you're really looking for a mentor to guide you and support you, to, you know, just give you the next step so you can just implement and work on that. Are you looking for a space to hide in the shadow of someone, hoping to catch all of the drippings that are coming from their luxury and their hard work? Because if that's what you're doing, you have to be really honest about that. That will fall fruitless to the ground because you haven't earned that. So you have to be really careful when you're asking to be mentored by someone else. What's really behind your ask? Is it because you really admire them so much that you're like, yes, I want to learn the tricks of the trade, and you know, I know Gracie can show me how to do experiences, how to stand in eloquence and etiquette, how to negotiate with vendors, like all these other layers that she has, including doing a full production. There's a lot of intricacy that I know goes in that because I have failed at doing productions myself, trying to do it by myself. Okay, go to an expert, hashtag that, go to an expert. But, you know, in knowing that, are you doing it because you really want, you know, some guidance around it? Or are you saying, oh, well, you know what, if I stand in her shadow, then I'll get to know her network. Then I'll get to be able to plug in and say, oh, well, you know, you don't really need Gracie, right? You don't really need Naketa. You don't really need John. You can just come to me, because that will not last. That's
That's right. And mama didn't raise no fool, because I see right through that too. And I become more cautious about what I share with you in your mentorship with me, you know, because now you're showing me red flags. And when you start turning around, what can I do for you? Let me jump on your bandwagon type of thing. Now I'm starting to look at you as a red flag, and I don't want to throw in the towel on you. And give up, throw up that white flag. So I'm going to keep on working with you to hopefully be proven wrong.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Your action speaks louder than your words. And I start seeing this person really don't know what they're asking for, or their motives of the acts is negative and selfish.
And I will add to that, if you show up like that as a mentee, then you are showing up like that in your marriage. You're being inauthentic.
You're doing it everywhere. Your marriage, your personal life, and every aspect, including your business. And then you're wondering, and then you're asking yourself, why haven't my business evolved more than where it should be? Because you're not being authentic in your relationships. Professional, personal, marriage, children, you name it. And stop chasing relationships. People have to stop chasing relationships that are not interested in them. Have you ever come across people, you come across those people where they have two friends, and there's one that they're chasing, and there's one that's chasing them. And they're constantly saying, I need a friend that's like this, ABC. And they're getting it from the person that's pursuing them, but they're not getting it from the person that they're chasing. And that person is doing all the wrong things towards them, but yet they're so intrigued with that person, they keep pursuing the wrong relationships. Meanwhile, you got what you're looking for right here in front of you. That's through friendship. That's through intimate relationships with your significant other. You know, it applies the same way, Naketa, to those that says, I just can't find the right guy for me. I keep drawing in a certain type of man or woman to me. That's because you keep pursuing the wrong people and you're blind to the person that's in front of you who is presenting you with all the qualities of what you're looking for. But you're so superficial that you keep going for this prize over here, which is not a prize. It's actually
Not a prize.
burden.
Absolutely. And to your point, the reason they're staying superficial and the reason they're going after the thing that it seems the most challenging to get and that isn't really worth their time of day is because they don't feel like they deserve what's really over here, which is why they won't go deeper with themselves, right? Like there's no intimacy with self to even know what they really want to be in balance, because they're not willing to admit what they can get or create boundaries because they're still doubting at such a core level, which is okay as long as you're willing to admit that's the place you're in. There's growth and there's healing that's there.
Wow. All right, fun fact question. All right, so obviously the holidays are coming, fastly approaching us. What's your favorite holiday and why?
Oh gosh. So this is hard for me because, you know, I was raised, I'm not currently, but I was raised Jehovah's Witness. So I did not grow up.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I didn't grow up celebrating my birthday, holidays, any of that in any kind of fun way. There's a whole backstory to that, but I'll skip to the forward. Since being with my husband, who was raised as a very holiday focused person for the last 26 years. And I'm the Grinch of the family, by the way. I'm like, humbug. I think my birthday and birthdays, period, just birthdays. Like I love celebrating people's coming in and they're growing year for year more than like a Christmas or a Resurrection Day and all the other things. It's something about birthdays that are really amazing to me.
Wow, that's awesome. I love our conversation. So I am so glad that today has led us into a part 3, and it looks like it might lead us into a part 4. So let's keep this going. Naketa, thank you so much for being here again. Super, super excited. I think everything that you share is of such great value, and people need to hear this stuff today, now, not tomorrow, not yesteryear, now.
I appreciate you so much, and I'm honored by your time. Thank you.
Take care.